Hi everyone, prepare yourself for a long one today because I am talking through everything I own from Makeup Revolution. I had a request on one of my videos to do a top Makeup Revolution products video, and I kind of feel I'm not best placed to do that at the moment because it's actually been quite a while since I've bought anything from Makeup Revolution, and I'm aware that they've come out with quite a lot of new stuff since the last time I made sort of any major purchases. So I thought rather than do that and make it inaccurate in any way, I'll talk through my whole Makeup Revolution collection, so everything I own from the brand, and start from my favourite products from those and going down in sort of order of love to hate. I say love to hate, the ones at the bottom aren't necessarily bad products, as we'll talk about as we go through, but they're just either my least used ones or for some reason I don't find them as good as some of the other Makeup Revolution products. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it because I've already got a sore throat and I'm fearing that this is going to add to that even more. So the first product that I'm going to talk about is the liquid eyeliner. It's their Awesome Double Flick liquid eyeliner. So it's got two ends. It's got one slightly thinner end, which you can see there, and another end which is kind of shorter and a little bit chubbier. So you can kind of use different ends for different types of flicks. The line is smooth. It doesn't, what's the word? It doesn't drag. I find it so easy to do flicks with this compared to any other makeup that I've ever used, any other liquid eyeliner that I've ever used. Lasts really, really well, not waterproof. I will say that as one downside, but very, very inexpensive. I don't know off the top of my head all the prices, but I'll make sure I put them up on the screen as I talk about each one. So this is definitely my most, not most used, but my most favourite Makeup Revolution product that I own. I find it far better than any other high-end version of this product. Yeah, just love it. Won't go on about it for too long, but that is definitely a recommendation. I think it's only about £3. The next products I'm going to talk about are definitely my most used products from Makeup Revolution, and it's their matte blushes. I've got all the shades that they come in, or at least that I'm aware of. When they first brought them out, these were the 6 shades that they brought them out in. And they are all matte, as I said. They're huge, huge pans. I think again they're only about £3 each, but as I said, I'll put the prices up on the screen. I've done a blog post on these, so I'll make sure I link that down below as well. But I use these all the time. I've got all the shades, as I said. So we've got nude, which is exactly as it says, nude. I've got divine, which is a very sort of hot pink. There's New Rules, which is a sort of really gorgeous and unusual red colour. On screen that almost looks very, very hot pink as well, but it's definitely more red in real life. This is Beloved, which is probably my most used one of all. It's like a nudie coral colour, really, really flattering on everybody. And then we've got Fusion, which is another nude colour, but in more of a brown tone than the nude. So I love these because I just think they're so easy to work with. I will say they're very, very, very pigmented. So if you're brand new to blusher or a bit of a beginner, then maybe they're not the first things you want to try. But if you're familiar with using blushes and you're fine with putting on makeup and you know how to sort of adjust the either the product, the tool that you use or the amount of force you use to put them on, they're great, great blushes. They last all day. I can't see myself ever getting through a whole pan. There's 8.9 grams in there, which are massive. And I do love a matte blusher, especially for daytime and especially a bit more flattering on slightly aging skin, I would say. The next group of products I'm going to talk about are these palettes that I've got. I have got another palette which I will talk about later, but these 3 palettes are certainly up there in terms of my favourites in the collection that I've got. I've got the Neutrals versus Neutrals palette. This is my most recent addition and I absolutely love it. Really gorgeous colours for autumn winter. You've got some mattes, you've got some shimmers, you've got some full-on glitters, and I find that these palettes, this particular palette, which is sort of their classic design in the black matte packaging, really good quality shadows. Another one I've got from that range is the Iconic Pro 2, which is supposedly a dupe for the Lorac Cool version of the palette. Again, row of mattes this time, row of shimmers, really, really good quality, really, really easy to blend, very, very pigmented, absolutely love those. And a slightly different Makeup Revolution palette, but still sort of in the favourites in terms of palettes I own, is the Fortune Favours the Brave palette. This is the collaboration with British beauty blogger, slightly different format as you can see, more shadows in there, smaller pans though, but a really, really interesting range of colours and finishes. There's some really sort of interesting marbled ones like this. I tend to use this more if I'm going for a dramatic look or a night out, but absolutely love those. Again, the quality of these really, really amazing, especially when you consider how inexpensive they are. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and still something that I love, we're not getting down to anywhere near the sort of on the fence or not really keen on ones yet. Yeah, still love these. These are lipsticks. They've got a few different types of lipsticks in the Makeup Revolution range. I've got two different types here. I've got their £1 lipsticks, which are these, and I've got one of their lip hugs, which is this one here. So if we start by talking about their £1 lipsticks, I'm going to swatch them all in my hand. So this purple shade here, I'm afraid I don't have a name for. It is part of their permanent collection as far as I'm aware, but I got that in their advent calendar, so unfortunately I didn't put names on those. Same applies for this nude shade here, but if I can find the shades, I will make sure to put them up on screen. Same applies to this pink shade, I'm afraid. This was another one that I got in the calendar, but this is one that I actually bought myself. This is called Reckless, and I absolutely love this for autumn winter. So as you can see, they're all sort of cream finishes. They're all very, very pigmented. That's just one swipe of the lipstick against my hand. And for £1, I just cannot believe the quality and how well they last. I mean, no, they're not going to last, you know, as well as a matte lipstick from MAC on your lips. They're not going to hang around all day. But I don't find they dry my lips out. I find they're really easy to apply, and I find they're really easy to top up. So once they start to fade, sometimes when you add more lipstick to what's already there, it starts to go all bitty and bobbly and looks a mess, but those are actually really great to top up as you need as well. So I love those. This is one of their lip hugs, and I've got this in the shade I Think You're Amazing. These are slightly more expensive, but I think you can tell. So that's a very sort of brownish colour nude. So I think you can tell from the formula, they are slightly better than the £1 lipsticks. Much creamier, much thicker, much longer lasting. Again, really, really like that though. So I think they're only about £3, so still amazing price for the quality. So the next thing we're going to talk about is highlighters. I've got 4 highlighters from the brand. Again, love them all. Still in the category of really, really enjoying these products. The first one I've got is one of their Radiant Lights. This is in the shade Exhale. Again, massive, massive pan. Never going to get through that. It's got 12 grams of product in there, which is just ridiculous when you think about it. This one I really love because it's got that pinky toned highlight, so I find it a much more natural highlight for every day. I'm often using this one to wear to work, or if I'm doing someone else's makeup, I'm using it on someone that doesn't normally wear much highlighter, just to give them a really, really subtle highlight. So again, not as pigmented, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as I say, it gives much more of a natural effect. The 3 others I've got are all in their single pans, and we have got this goldy coloured one, which is called Hidden Lights. The one in the middle there is called Golden Lights, and this pink one on the end is called Pink Lights. Multiple reasons that I love these. I mean, first of all, the shades I think are quite unusual, especially this pink one, and it is actually a lot more wearable than it looks in the pan. The golden one, again in the middle, is just so bright and so yellow that it's really good for the inner corner. And then Hidden Lights, really, really lovely with a tan. These are all a little bit more pigmented, I would say, than the, whatever this one's called, Radiant Lights pan. But again, really, really easy to use, really, really easy to blend. And again, even though these are smaller, there's still 2.3 grams in there, so I don't see myself ever getting through one of those. So next up is a product that I'm not saying I love, I'm not saying I hate. It's in the middle of everything because I haven't really got much use out of these, and I do need to try and sort of play with them a little bit more. These are their single eyeshadow pans. I've got 5 of these, and if I'm honest, I've swatched them all. I've played with a few of them a couple of times, but I haven't properly used them. It's just a bad habit that I have of not using my single eyeshadows because I've got palettes that I tend to reach for more and more. But from what I have seen of them and what I have tried them out, they are as good quality as the palettes that I've just shown you that I do really love. I've actually only got 4, I can't count, so I think you'll agree the colours are really, really interesting. We've got this one on the end. This is called Delicious. It's a really quite a dark brown, but it's matte and it's quite cool in its tone, so that's really, really useful for creating some smoky eyes or some cool toned looks. This one, the second one along here, next to one that's just dropped, that's called Good Life. That's a really interesting taupey grey purpley colour, so you can create some really good sort of looks with that one. The next one along, I feel like I'm playing Guess Who as I'm pressing them all down. The Mountains of Gold. I mean, that speaks for itself. It is just so gold, so pigmented. It looks great with like bronzed up look and a completely over the top gold look on your eyes. And this one's called Killer. This, I think, is a bit of a dupe for MAC's Night Divine, which I also have. So again, the colours are great, the shade range is brilliant. I just haven't got enough use of them out of these yet to properly assess whether they are as good as the other Makeup Revolution shadows in the palettes in terms of lasting power and blendability. But I mean, as you can see, they swatch really, really pigmented and they are really, really gorgeous colours. So next is a product that you've probably seen me talk about and use quite a few times on this channel if you're familiar with the channel, and it is the 144 shadow palette. This is the 2016 collection. There are updated collections, they've even got one that's completely matte now. So this is further down in the list, not because I don't like it, but just because I don't find the quality of these shadows as good as in their other palettes, which is slightly disappointing. But having said that, you do get 144 shadows and it's still really inexpensive considering the amount of shadows you get. But I do still get a lot of use out of it, because what this is great for is playing around with colours and playing around with looks. So, you know, if, for example, I wanted to play around with these sorts of colours, I don't really have many other palettes with those sorts of colours in. You know, and this orange here, these purples here are quite unusual colours that I don't have anywhere else. So when I want to play around with makeup and try out new looks, this is a great go-to palette, because I can try out the looks. If I really, really love the particular colours that I use and I want something in a slightly better quality, I can go out and purchase it without having wasted my money by trying it first. So yeah, I do love this and I do end up using it a lot, but just a word of warning, whoops, as I drop it, I would say that the quality of the shadows aren't quite as great as the other palettes in the Makeup Revolution range. So next up are products that I've kind of fallen out of love with. When I first got these, I really liked them. So these are two of their blush palettes. This is Sugar and Spice and this is Golden Sugar. So Sugar and Spice is mainly matte blushes with a couple of highlighters on the end here. And the Golden Sugar is kind of, as it says on the tin, all sort of mainly golden shades. They're all blushes, but these ones are all sort of very shimmery. No, this side. These ones are all sort of shimmery, more highlighty type blushes. When I first got these, I got a lot of use out of them. They were very popular. A lot of people talk about them on blogs and on YouTube, and they are great for the price. But what I would say is I've just found other items in the range that I can use that I prefer. So for example, instead of using this, I tend to use those individual matte blushes now. I find them better quality than these. I would actually say that these are slightly more pigmented than those ones and therefore a little bit more difficult to work with. I've had a few Aunt Sally moments going out of the house in that one. And this one I found, the quality started to deteriorate as you got further down the pans. So once you got sort of past the initial sort of few layers, I suppose, I found that you weren't getting as much pigment out of these as you used to. In a way, the powder's kind of dried out a little bit after I've had it for about a year, so I never tend to reach for this anymore. So as much as I loved it at the beginning, it's not something I reach for anymore. I've got other golden coloured bronzers and blushes and highlighters that I just prefer over this now, but it's not a bad product. I just sort of fell out of love with that one a little bit. So I've got 4 more products left. The next 2 are ones that I don't really love, if I'm honest. The first one is this. It's the I Heart Makeup, which is a sort of sub-brand of Makeup Revolution eye primer. I have, as you can see, not opened this one, but I've had this product before and I'm just not wholly keen, which is why I haven't opened this. I got this as part of a giveaway, that's why I got it again. I didn't purchase it. I just think it's not a very good quality eye primer. There's so many other better ones out there. I prefer MAC paint pots to this, and I prefer Urban Decay's primer potion to this. Yes, they're both a hell of a lot more expensive than this, but you can tell in terms of the quality. I just find that this one separates a lot. It's quite thin in consistency, so you have to use quite a lot of it, and then you feel like you've got a lot of product build up on your eyes before you've even put any eyeshadow on. So that one's not a favourite for me. The other one, coincidentally, is also from the I Heart Makeup range, and it's their brow bar. So it's a cute little product. It comes with a little mirror here, it comes with a little mini bit of tweezers. It's got 3 shades of brow powders and then a wax on the end. So the format of the product's lovely, the idea of it is great, but I just don't find the powders to be very long lasting. I find that after a while they separate on my face and they sort of got a bit bitty, for want of a better word. So I just don't tend to reach for that as much. As you can see, as you can probably see, I've used the wax quite a lot because for a long time I didn't have any sort of waxy products that I could use to set my brows, but I've got a different one now. Powders I haven't really touched too much, so that's not a favourite for me. Finally, I've got 2 more products in my collection which I have yet to use, so I can't give you an opinion. These aren't at the bottom because I don't like them, I just haven't used them yet. But I do need to use them, and I want these both in a giveaway. The first one is one of the One blush sticks. So these are, oh no, it's only gone and broken, hasn't it? So yeah, this product has just completely fallen out. Hopefully it'll still be usable though. This is in the shade, oh, I don't know, and again I'm going to have to try and find it. This is the annoying thing about Makeup Revolution, they don't always put their shade names on the products. So this is a really dark blush stick, which I think is why I haven't used it yet, because I've been a bit off-put being so fair, but I'm going to try and find a way to use that and see what I think of it, because they are really, really popular. And the other thing is this Awesome Metals, and it's an eyeshadow with a full finish, and it comes with a little liquid primer and fixing spray there. Not fixing spray, mixing tray. God, I'm getting my words mixed up today. So this is the mixing tray it comes with. This is the liquid primer, and then this is the actual product itself, and this is in the shade Black Diamond. So, I mean, it's a great little setup, isn't it? Those 3 little things. It's very sort of professional looking, and these are meant to be great for a really dramatic foiled look. So I will get around to using that. I just don't find during the summer that I sort of do so much drama in my eyes. So now that autumn winter has come around, I'm going to try and get some use out of that and see what I think. But I've heard brilliant things about these. Well, I spent so long talking about Makeup Revolution products that my camera overheated, so I've just come along to finish off the video. It's all still here. There's all my collection. So hopefully you found it helpful. Do let me know if you have any recommendations for Makeup Revolution, especially if it's something reasonably new, because I haven't bought any products for a while, as I said. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.